So I mean, that's just in her soul. So my goal is I want to see if she can get a full ride scholarship. She's just amazing. So one of the teachers there, his husband was away on vacation. He sent me a picture on his cell phone of just catching a swordfish, catch and release. And I said, I know I can get one of these paintings sold. I said, go get your cell phone, Amy, and let's let Tricia draw it. So she drew the swordfish being pulled up out of the water on a great big piece of tarp. So sometimes these things, I've been teaching this project, and this teacher came to me and said, Nancy, we're trying to do a multi-sensory room. And she said, but I got $15,000 grant, we have to raise another $15,000. And she said, can we do it with art? And I said, I love a challenge. I said, let's go for it. So in the last couple of weeks, we've already raised a few $1,000s of children's artwork. She was at Hobby Lobby the other day, was trying to figure out how to frame some of this stuff, how do you take tar paper and put it on a frame that somebody would want to buy a big piece like this. And she said, the owner of True Restaurant was standing behind her and asked if they could have all the pieces in True Restaurant in Midtown. Awesome. And so I said, just say yes and we'll keep painting. And then, so it's like she calls me 5 times a day. She said, okay, I'm on WABB this morning. I said, go for it. I said, this is what we need to do. Let's do a breakfast or let's do a dinner and let's bring some of those kids and let them live paint in front of the people. And so she said, we need some rack cards for the table. Nobody understands these paintings are for sale. So she brought out her big gun. The owner's wife had a beautiful camera. I heard she's already done a collage of images of the artwork for sale to be little tents on each table. So, I mean, it's kind of like God's just watching after that school because they're trying to get this multi-sensory room. So I'm telling you this to know that if you're open to using your gift and you're asking to use your gift to better your community, things just kind of start coming connected. It just happens all the time. Okay, come on, let's do another question here. Nobody's playing with me. Let's play. Okay, how many of you make a point one time every week of doing something you wouldn't ordinarily do? Like okay, I'll give you for instance, and it drives my husband crazy. It's awesome. Okay, what are you doing? I'm walking around the auto parts. Why are you doing that? Because I want to look at the shapes and I want to understand my grandfather, who was an inventor. I want to understand Bruce Larson. Sometimes I'll just go immerse myself in something that I wouldn't normally do, or I'll walk around it's like you guys will stop and say, I have to photograph that. You don't know why, but you have to. So sometimes I'm beyond the point of saying, I know I'm Nancy Raia and I got silly pants on, but there's a reason behind this. I invented a project a few years ago just because somebody asked me, said, Nancy, we want the world's longest installation on the causeway for the new 5 Rivers building. And they asked me, it was Bernie Fogarty with Alabama Power, he said, okay, Nancy, you can do this, come up with the world's longest painting. And in my mind, I was thinking, I never say no, I said, let me just let it digest. And I said, I can see it. Oh, but then there's wind happening. The whole painting goes in the bay. There's the cost of expense. How do we get all that canvas? And then I was also thinking, okay, how do we get they wanted kids to be involved. How do we get all the kids out there on the same day? What if the weather's bad? By coincidence, somebody had just donated me 16 pairs of jeans. My counselor friend at the alternative school where I used to teach. And so I said, everything I own has paint on it. Jeans are like canvas. And I said, I just blurted it out at the meeting. I know what we'll do. We're going to paint on blue jeans. What kids care about the environment, it would fit on each student desk. It would be a workable, we could find the material, and we're going to call it Hanging Out on the Causeway. We'll do a clothesline installation. And they kind of looked at me like, is she cracked or what? But all it ever takes is when I come up with these ideas, and I went and pitched it to the art teacher meeting, and thank goodness, a retired art teacher said, Nancy, I'm in, I support you. And I knew I was off and running. We ended up with 600 pairs of jeans.
Y'all had that on Earth Day.
At Earth Day.
Yeah, I saw it. It was wonderful.
And see, it was one of these crazy ideas that I had, and I didn't have the right materials, but I had the opportunity, and I took what I had. And so I've done the Blue Jean project, and I actually got grants. I traveled the whole state. I actually traveled out of state. Last spring, I got an email from the Kennedy Center and saying, it was just like, I and they did a little film, and it was called Art is My Life. And they showed, you know, drama, singing, all the arts were in it. And the kids were, they had it written on their hand, Art is My Life. They were doing dance, they were, you know, creating in the studio on the computers. And they wanted the opportunity to show it to the school board, to try to make sure that the funding was going to be cut. They knew it. And they wanted the chance to have a voice. And I read it and I got really angry because they weren't allowed to show it. So I started thinking, how can I help these kids? So I answered the person at the Kennedy Center because I was following the right protocol. I thought I'd let them know I liked the YouTube clip. I'd like to meet these kids or go shake their hands and say, you did the right thing putting out your video. It was really awesome. And so they connected me with the State Arts Council of Pennsylvania, even though I'm from Pennsylvania. And so I said, I'm coming there for a wedding. Don't tell Stephen, I was photographer. I was photographer of my cousin who's 51, special ed, getting married. I figured she would love whatever I shot. What do you do when she says I'm wearing 3 garter belts because I liked them all? And so I said, I'm coming to Pennsylvania for I will be there anyway. Could I add a few days of vacation and come and meet these kids? One thing led to another, and I went to the school, and I said, I want to come meet these kids, and if I can, I would like to motivate them. So we did a Blue Jean project there. We switched it from, which was always about the environment, and we called it Art is My Life. So we did a project, so we had hundreds of blue jeans, hundreds of pairs of blue jeans, and I just walked in to meet with the kids, and I had Art is My Life, and this is one of my little characters that I do all the time. I don't know why it sells, but it does. You know? I usually see myself with a little waist. You can do that with art, you know, I'm a cheerleader. Because I was told I was too tall to be a cheerleader. And you know, the teacher said, I hope. Oh, and on the last day I was there, the kids did a fashion show. They all put on their jeans and they videoed it. And they had to come out and spin in their jeans and explain what their motivation was. And one of the boys painted like the hood of a Corvette or something on his jeans. It was hysterical. They had all different things. One girl, it was a ballerina, painted ballerina legs, and she hung little shoes from the bottom of the pants. And so she said she went and presented my project at the state art teachers in Pennsylvania. And then one of the teachers had an art club girl that was so discouraged because nobody in her was joining art club at her school, so she handed her the Raia Blue Jean Project portfolio. And the girl did the Blue Jean Project at art club, and the next day everybody wanted to join her. Who's that crazy lady? Watch her out peeing pants. Give me a time, I'm used to giving time. And you know, you might see that this is, and the reason I'm kind of going back and forth, I talk about doodles a lot. And you know, I have all kinds of art. I just brought a few of mine, but this is a doodle that I did on my college apartment. For some reason, I was always fascinated with curvy lines, but then I would also do maybe, and I didn't know what they were, but also engineering. Sometimes I would like to do repeating curvy lines, and then I would also intersect them with angle lines. So this is something, and you notice it's even on my pants here. You know, it's like, to me, it's once again that we're all swimming in the same waters, and to me, it's about unity. It's like Bruce Larson told me that for a while he was doing boat hulls as part of his sculpture. And I said, why is that? He said, Nancy, I was thinking about it. If I put my little boat in the water behind my house on, where is he, Fishing or wherever he is, he said, if I paddled real hard enough, I could get to China. And we're all connected by the waters. So waters is kind of like, you know, this is kind of one of my symbols. So one time I was just sitting there and I was just, sometimes they'll say to me, Nancy, you have this gallery in April of next year. What do you see at it? And I literally will stand here and start looking until, I know it sounds like I'm on drugs. I'll sit here and I'll kind of look at it until I actually start seeing the visuals that I see play. So, because one of the teachers at another school, at an art teacher convention said to me, Nancy, how can I get the kids together on the same page?